Hi dears, welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's me Anna with you here. Today we are here on the terrace. It might seem that it's evening time, but actually it's 10:46 right now in the morning. It's raining, it's very cloudy, and this is why I even have a small LED light right here just to get some light in our lives because it's very dark. And today we're here to discuss all the latest news, the update on the situation, what's going on in Spain and in our Benidorm's region. First of all, let's start with the situation probably. In the weekend, which is the data that we did not have in the previous days, finally they've told us that we've had 6,417 new cases. It kind of seems a lot, but it's not, taking into consideration that it's only 3,208 more or less cases per day. It's approximately the same numbers that we used to have during all this week and a half. So the situation is still stable, although the index is growing, and in the last few days it grew up until 58.5 per every 100,000 people, still growing just by 5 points in 2-3 days. It's something normal. It's something that we've waited and thought will be happening eventually. In general, the World Health Organization, what they are saying is that Spain has a constant but very light increase in cases, and they think that there is no risk, for Spain, for the hospitals to get collapsed once again, for the ICU units to have an issue. They don't see any issue with this. They say that Spain has very light increase and it's something normal, and they are not worried at all about our country and the situation in here. Actually, one of the autonomic regions, which is Ceuta, what they did is that they've eliminated some of the restrictions in the hosteleria. Hosteleria means hotels, all the eating, drinking facilities like bars, restaurants, cafeterias, pubs, nightclubs, etc. And they've eliminated restrictions in terms of total occupancy, like capacity, on the terrace or inside. So it's 100% right now, as almost in all other parts of Spain. So we are still we are in the new normality already. It doesn't matter what other people say, we are already there, because even though the numbers are not like this, the numbers are in a medium risk, but in terms of restrictions, we're living our normal lives. We go anywhere we want. We don't have restrictions in terms of occupancy, maximum occupancy inside of the buildings, outside on the terraces, all the cinemas, everything is open. So it's a normal life, except for masks and social distancing. That's basically the only restrictions that we have left here in the region. The next news that I wanted to share with you is very interesting thing that I've seen the article yesterday at night in one of the local newspapers, is the eternal problem of what... Oh, there's a sun coming out and it's still raining. There is an eternal problem of what bars and restaurants and cafeterias can charge you for and what they cannot charge you for. A lot of people, especially tourists, when they come into Spain, they say, oh my god, I've been charged a supplement for ice in my coffee, or for ice in my drink. I've been charged extra for the table, for booking. I've been charged extra for the toilet. What is going on? Why am I having these charges? Is it normal in Spain or not? So I have here a lot of information for you guys to let you know what is actually normal to charge for at the bar or restaurant, and what is something that you should never ever be charged for. And the first one is water. So what if you go to a bar and restaurant and you ask for a glass of water? Can they actually is it a must to serve it to you for free, or they can deny it and say, we only serve bottles. If you want it, I'll charge you for it. So there's actually a law, very interesting one, that says that in Andalusia, in Castilla y León, Balearic Islands, and Navarra, bars and restaurants by law must serve you a glass of water, like a tap water, because there you can actually drink it. It's a good quality water in the majority of parts. So they must serve you a glass of water, and they're not able to charge you for it in case you ask for. So this is by law. In the rest of autonomic regions, they can serve it, or they can say, well, sorry, no, we don't have like tap water, we cannot serve it. If you want, you can get a bottle, but you'll be charged for it. This is basically how it works. And before they charge you for anything at all, you need to be informed about it. This is a very important thing that not all people know about. If this supplement that they want to charge you is not actually on the menu or on the card, like anywhere that you can actually see it with your own eyes, you can deny the payment. You can say that it was stated, like there was no single place where it was stated, so I can deny it. I can say I'm not going to pay for it because I was not informed in advance. The same happens with the ice. Usually here, for example, in the area, they don't charge you for ice. Like they bring you a drink with some ice cubes, like a bottle of Coca-Cola, I don't know, Fanta, anything, or just sparkling water. And in the glass, they bring you like a few ice cubes, but they don't charge you for it. And in some regions they do, so you need to be very careful. If they did not mention that the ice is charged extra, or if they did not say it to you, or if it's not written, they cannot charge you this supplement. A lot of bars and businesses, they're not very fair in this sense for the clients, and they just put an extra supplement of like 50 cents, which is not a lot, but when you sum up 50 cents from each client, at the end of the day, you get like a very, very good extra money. So this is why they're doing it. Some people just see, well, okay, that's just 50 cents. I'm going to pass it. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to pay for it. But if everyone does it, at the end, they get like a good income from it. So you need to be careful about this. Here in our area, we also have a lot of menus. Like a very popular thing is a menu of the day or a menu of the night. When you go to any kind of restaurant or cafeteria and they say like, well, today's menu is like $15.95, and you get the entrance, you get the main dish, you get like the dessert, coffee, tea, bread, etc., like drinks, and all this included. They need to state it clearly, because there's also a problem when you go to the restaurant. They have to, like, usually the wine or water and the bread, they should be included in the price by law in the menu, or like a combined plate, you know, like a whole meal. But not all restaurants do this. I must say that in our area, they are quite honest. So each time when you go to the restaurant, they have like this board where it says menu of the day, like $15.95 or like $10.95 includes this, and this. If it's not stated in that list, then it's not included in the price, obviously. But other restaurants, I've seen it in Alicante once. Some of the restaurants in the older part of the town near the castle, like which are like of seafood and paella restaurants, typical Spanish. These ones, they actually say like, do you want some bread? And then they bring you the bread. They don't say that it will be paid for extra. They just say, do you want some bread for your like entries, for your like snack things before the main meal? And if you say yes, they bring you bread, but then at the end, in the final invoice, they charge you for it, which is not really fair to do because you were not informed. And in these cases, you can just ask them, is it like included in the meal, or do you charge for it? If it's charged, like if it's paid bread, then you can say no, thank you, take it back, like, you know. And basically, this is how it works. Everything needs to be told. Everything needs to be written somewhere. If it's not, then you have a point if you don't want to pay for this certain thing. Also, here it's not happening very often, but some bars, like restaurants in Alicante, did it like a long time ago, which is charge extra the tax, the Spanish tax, which is IVA, 21%. Or 10% if it's for food, like it depends. What they basically did is they've put all the menu they've put prices on the menu, and then when you pay, they bring you the final invoice, the receipt, and there it says that apart from this price, you need to pay the IVA, the tax, on top of all this amount. It's not very common to do. It's not a correct thing to do. On the menu, they need to put prices with all the taxes included. They cannot include them at the end, which is like illegal thing to do totally. And if you see this kind of things, you can stay on your own and say, I'm going to pay the price for the menu. I'm not going to pay extra on top of the IVA, because it's an illegal thing to do. And if they have some issue, you could like, in theory, you could even call the police and say they're trying to charge me more than the menu is, and they could get quite a big fine on this. So usually if you say that you know that it's not fair, they say like, okay, pay this price. But if not, you could always ask the police or someone of your friends who might speak Spanish just to talk to them and make your point, because you would be right in this situation. And the last news comes from Benidorm, of course, particularly here in Benidorm, because here the tourism was very, very alive. You know, you've seen it in the videos as well when we were walking down Benidorm streets, especially yesterday when we went to Mediterranean Avenue. If you did not check that video just yet, you can have it here on top, popping up. And it was quite alive, I must say. It was a work day, it's Tuesday, but there was a lot of people walking, enjoying. I've seen a lot of British as well. Some of them even asked me about the trees, because they've spotted there were some lemon trees on the Mediterranean Avenue, and they were quite amused about that, because it's not a very common thing to see like back in UK, I suppose. So it was very, very busy. But right now the hotels actually say that the average occupancy in Benidorm has dropped in the last week from like 80% up until 55 right now. So slightly more than half of each hotel are full, which is still a good number, but it's not as good as they've expected when they've seen like all September full, like first days of November full. They thought it's going to be better than it actually is right now. And the most interesting thing is that the national tourism is almost inactive, almost inexistent here. It's hard to say, because we are talking about the hotels and apart hotels. It's something that we can have a track of. There are a lot of people that are coming here to the region that are national tourists, but they have their own apartments or houses in here, in Benidorm or like somewhere in the area. So these ones, we would never know the exact number. They are still coming for winter, because it's a lot warmer here than in other parts of Spain, even today. But the official tourists, let's call them like that, national ones are a very, very low number, and the international ones are already more than a half, and 36% of all international tourists are from UK. 36% right now. This is what we were talking with you about in a few previous days, that people were not able to go out, people were not able to travel because of UK restrictions, because of a lot of PCR testing and a lot of like different issues, bureaucracy things that you needed to do to come here. It was very pricey. But right now, when people actually can do so, they are traveling, because tickets are quite cheap. Hotels are getting cheaper as well day by day. So why not to travel still? If you have time, you have the desire to come to Benidorm before the new year starts. So actually, hotels are a little bit suffering, because normally by this time we would have a lot of national tourism of retired people, like pensionists. It's called Inserso here. I've mentioned it in a few videos before. But because of the government's fault, because of the ministry, they did not sign the contracts on time. They did not sign all the paperwork, and people just cannot travel. They've bought their tickets already. They've booked in, but they were not able to travel still, and it's already mid-November almost. So what the government says is that by 2022 only, people will be able to start traveling, when it should be starting like in September, like already a few months ago it should have started. So it might be slightly worse winter than we all were expecting in terms of work. A lot of the hotels still remained open, because they were thinking that the situation will be better, but having only 55% of occupancy, some of the hotels might consider closing down. Apart from those that we are seeing in the videos, some more of them might consider closing, just because for some of them, sadly, it will not make any sense to stay open for only a few rooms booked during the winter season. So we will see what will be going on. I'll keep you up to date, and as soon as some hotels will decide on closing or not, I will definitely let you know. These were basically all the news for today. And as for the Spanish weather, well, you can see it already with your own eyes. It's cold outside. It's getting warmer as the day goes forward. There was a little bit of sunshine, and it's not as dark already, as you can see. So I changed slightly the position as well because of the natural lighting here. So it's getting better. It's not raining, but there are a few drops coming down every now and then, but it's not like pouring rain as it was this morning, which is already good. But this type of weather will be something that we are expecting to have up until this Sunday. So it's going to be very cloudy. There might be rain every now and then here in the area, but it should not be like more than that. It should be this weather more or less. As you can see here on the screen as well, our region will be one of those who will be more affected by all this. Also with the Catalonia, like all the Mediterranean area and Balearic Islands, we are the most affected ones, because this mass of like rain is going from the Mediterranean Sea as it is, and we are on its way, sadly. We are all thinking about the holidays that are upcoming, the fiestas that will be starting in 2 days on Friday evening. And we just hope it's not going to be raining by then. But even if it will, we'll take our umbrella with us and we will head for the beginning of Benidorm fiestas. By the way, right now there are still some fiestas going in Alfaz del Pi, which is near Benidorm, but it's not something major. They don't have any fair, like attractions, nothing at all. They just have like a fiesta day. They don't work. A lot of supermarkets here as well, they don't work, like Mercadona, for example, which was a surprise for me, because since my daughter goes to school, like mentally I know it's a work day, but as it seems for them it's not. So you need to take that into consideration if you're coming in Alfaz del Pi or Albir area, because here it's holidays still. And basically this is what is waiting for us in terms of weather. In terms of temperatures, they are more or less the same with no major changes. Like it's very, very stable temperature, even though it's raining, even though it's cloudy, but it's the same. It did not change barely during the last few days. In Alicante, it will be between 20 and 21, the same here in Benidorm area, approximately 20 degrees today. Barcelona 19, Granada 19, Malaga 21, Sevilla 22. This will be like the warmest area, excluding Canarian Islands, because that's like the warmest points of Spain in general. In Madrid will be 14 degrees, in Murcia 22, Balearic Islands 20, Canarian 23, 24, that's the typical temperature. Oh, by the way, about the Canarian Islands, almost forgot to tell you. As for the volcano in La Palma, it's kind of changing its way already. They are like at the breakout point right now, at the peak point. And they've even started to go to school once again. You know that children were studying at home because it was dangerous due to the air pollution and a lot of other like things. But children started to get back to school starting from today, which is a great news. People are slowly but extremely slowly getting back to normal life. They are preparing also the areas where they will put pre-built like cabins, like homes, like wooden houses. That will be first of all for first 30 families. And then they'll putting some more and more each time, just to for the families to have at least something, where to live, where to stay, up until they decide what to do with their house, or they can come back, or they will need to build a new one, up until they decide what to do with their lives. But at least the situation is kind of stabilizing, which is what the experts basically say, that they are at this like inflection point when it should be getting for the better. We will see what will be happening there. And in Valencia, it will be approximately 20 degrees as well. The next few days, it will be exactly the same up until Sunday, and then hopefully starting from Sunday, we will have nice, sunny, amazing autumn weather here in the area. I hope you enjoyed watching today's news update video and the situation update in Spain. If you did, don't forget to click a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed watching it, and share these videos with your friends, relatives, anyone that you think this video might be useful for. I wish you an amazing day of today, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video from Benidorm. Bye everyone.